There's just something about a fireplace, right? That cozy, crackling glow. It's the heart of a warm home. But what if I told you that classic design has a massive, glaring flaw? It's literally sending most of its heat right up the chimney. Well, today, we're going to dive into a super clever rethinking of this old school invention. So, on one side, you've got the fireplace we all know and love, and on the other, a seriously smart design that tackles its biggest problem head on. This is all about transforming something that's mostly for ambience into a powerhouse of home heating efficiency. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big problem, the great escape of heat. Then we'll get into the ingenious solution. We'll break down its three core design pillars, see how they all work together in perfect synergy, and finally talk about what this all means for building smarter, warmer homes. Okay, let's kick things off with a fundamental issue. Why isn't that beautiful fire actually doing a great job of heating your house? It's a really simple problem, but it has huge consequences for energy waste. Yeah, you heard that right. All that amazing warmth from the burning wood, the vast majority of it just rises with the smoke and goes straight outside. Poof, gone. It's kind of like trying to fill a bucket that has a giant hole in the bottom. Sure, it feels warm if you're right next to it, but the effect on the rest of your home is, well, pretty disappointing. So the big question is, how do you plug that hole? How can you actually capture all that escaping energy and put it to good use? Well, this is where things get really interesting. Take a look at this. This diagram shows the core idea. Instead of giving the hot smoke a direct, straight shot out of your house, this design forces it to take the scenic route. It basically makes the exhaust run a gauntlet designed to strip out its heat before it can get away. So to really get how this works, we need to break it down into its three key components, the three pillars that make this whole heat-trapping system tick. Each one has a very specific and very important job. Pillar number one is the workhorse of this whole operation, a series of copper tubes. Now, you probably know copper is an amazing conductor of heat. Here, its job is to act like a sponge, pulling the heat right out of the smoke as it passes by. It's kind of like a car's radiator, but working in reverse. It's absorbing all the heat instead of getting rid of it. And you can see right here, the smoke's path isn't a simple straight line anymore. It's forced to snake its way through this whole progression of copper tubes. This maximizes the time the smoke is in contact with the metal, making sure as much heat as possible gets yanked out and transferred to the system. Okay, so you've captured the heat in the copper tubes. Awesome. But the next challenge is to keep it there, right? And that's the job of our second pillar, the heat-reflecting walls. Think of these as a high-tech thermal shield. In this more detailed view, you can see how these shiny walls basically box in the whole heat exchange unit. Any heat radiating off those now hot copper tubes hits these walls and just gets bounced right back into the system instead of escaping. It's like a hall of mirrors for heat, concentrating all that valuable energy in one place. So we've absorbed the heat and we've trapped it. The final crucial step is getting that wonderful warmth back out into your room. And that's where the third and final pillar comes in, the stone slab vents. This is the delivery system. All of that heat we've collected and concentrated now warms up the air inside the unit. And what does hot air love to do? It rises. It flows naturally out through these vents, circulating gently and quietly throughout your living space. It's a super simple, totally passive way to bring the whole process full circle. So, we've looked at the individual parts, but the real magic is in how they work together. This isn't about one single component. It's about the incredible synergy between all three, creating a system that's way more efficient than the sum of its parts. Let's just trace the path of heat one more time. First, the fire creates it. As that heat tries to escape up the chimney, the copper tubes absorb it. Then, the reflective walls trap it, making sure it can't get away. And finally, the stone vents release it back into the room. Create, absorb, trap, release. It's a brilliant closed-loop system for recycling wasted energy. And what's really cool is watching this idea evolve. On the left, you've got the spark, the core concept. But on the right, you see it refined into a practical, modular system that's actually designed to be installed in a real home. It's that classic journey from a great idea to a workable, customizable solution. Now, this modular approach is an absolute game changer. The chimney height can be customized to fit your space. There's a solid steel frame for support. The whole thing is designed to work with standard drywall, which makes installation so much easier. You can even add a small fan if you need a little boost to the airflow. It's not a one-size-fits-all deal. It's a flexible system that can adapt to pretty much any home. Okay, so that's a lot of clever engineering. But what does it all mean for you living in your home? Let's get to the bottom line, the real-world benefits. It really all boils down to this. You get way more heat from the same amount of wood, which means less energy waste. Because the design is modular, it can fit into almost any home layout. And the end result? A much warmer, cozier living space, all by simply capturing the energy that was already there. And I think this quote just nails it perfectly. The goal isn't just to make more heat. It's about being more intelligent with the heat you already have. It's about optimizing the whole process to cut waste and boost comfort. You know, a design like this really makes you wonder, doesn't it? It's a fantastic reminder that even the oldest, most traditional things in our lives might be hiding some incredible potential, just waiting for a fresh pair of eyes to unlock a smarter, more efficient future. So what do you think we should rethink next?